Hey everybody, just a minute early just to make sure everything is up and running. So still waiting on Mark to arrive, but hope to see everybody in here super soon.
Cool. Hey Bob, how you doing?
All right, Mark, you are live and going out to the world, so be careful what you say.
Thank you. I'm just setting up as well. I'm just setting up my Instagram to share the Finger Me Dig. I think that's working now. Cool. I think I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think so
How's it
too.
going?
All right, how you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Thanks for having me on your live show.
Yeah, not too bad. It all came together so fast. I'm very excited about it too. Um, so we haven't had really a chance to talk a lot about the what you're stepping into here. So let me just give a quick hello and a quick all that for anyone who is new to this, whatever. Every now and then, kind of not fully scheduled, but as and when we can, I do these little lunchtime chats about anything to do with screenwriting, filmmaking, AI screenwriting and filmmaking, and so on. And hoping people can just grab their lunch and join the conversation or learn a little bit about stuff that's going on. It was last week, I think we did one where we wrote together. I wrote with my screenplay up on the screen, and we did a little writing sesh together. And but in the last few days, for everyone watching, Mark and I met over his project that he created. Before we watch the movie, which we'll do, but I want to give people a chance to join up. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the DORE and how it came to be?
Yeah, so basically, about a year ago, along with everybody else, probably, I discovered Mid-Journey and this whole AI world that we were going into, and I just started creating all these crazy images, like everybody else. Probably, just went down a rabbit hole with it, and then all the video stuff started happening, and I was just like mind blown. Um, and yeah, it was basically just experimenting really with what could be done with the technology. I'd done a bit of acting, I've done a bit of writing, so it's kind of like, hang on a minute, there's a way here to get stuff made at breakneck speed, without Hollywood budgets. So yeah, my mind was just kind of doing somersaults, thinking about all of that stuff. But along the way, yeah, I was just experimenting. I did like a pitch deck for a TV show, and the author and the executive producer were just kind of, again, mind blown by the incredible quality of the visuals that you can present in such a document. So yeah, it's just been a bit of a roller coaster, really. But a couple of months ago, I saw an advert for the International AI Film Festival, and it was like a 2-week deadline, produce a film, anything from a minute to 10 minutes long. And I thought, you know what, I'll have a go at that. And I kind of got confused about the deadline. So I kind of started doing the intro credits or whatever, and kind of gave up. I was like, oh, it's going to be too much, but then realized I'd made a mistake. So another 2 weeks, I was like, okay, right, let's get some actors involved, because I wanted to have that human element as well as using the technology. And this is what came out 2 weeks later.
That's 2 weeks. That's an amazing timeline. I want to talk a little bit about two things you said there. You said that it was a quick and breakneck pace way to get stuff made. So after we watch The Door, I'm going to want to talk a little bit about the importance of getting stuff made, particularly in 2024. I think a lot of us probably have been taught that you write something and then you sort of rely on somebody else to make it. You pitch your stuff and bring people on board. And then I also want to talk about your attitude of I'll have a go. Then following that, we'll talk a bit about what you and I are working on together and how it came to pass and some of your process. But before we do any of that, I'd like everyone to sort of know what we're talking about. So let's watch the short. Stand by. Here we go.
He's gonna make a move. I know it.
If he does, he will blow this whole thing wide open. Do what you have to do, but do it now.
Understood.
You're not welcome here.
Yeah. You need to leave now, boy.
Just fuck off.
Just get us a drink. You need to leave.
Are you feeling okay? You can't stop this. You need to leave.
Where is it? Where is it?
You had your choice.
Fuck you!
drink?
Yeah. Yeah, I need a drink.
Why are you here?
Visions, man. Visions, they're back. Oh, fuck, she's in my head.
The visions.
Fucking door. I keep seeing the door.
What door?
Fucking door. I told you about the door. I have to find it. I have to find it.
Stop going on about the door. It's all in your head.
The door. It's the door.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, alright. I'll do it.
You can't stop this.
Do it now.
It's over.
It's just good form to stick around for the credits, especially
Yeah.
when the guy you're talking to is in the credits a couple times.
Yeah, right. Cheers.
So, tell me, so what's the status of it right now?
So yeah, I've
With
just been
regard to
putting it
the,
out there.
podcast.
I've been putting it out there. We did a screening at a local cinema in Bristol, The Cube, a couple of weeks ago, which went down really well. It was great seeing it on the big screen, or medium-sized screen. And yeah, I've entered it into a few more film festivals, and yeah, I'm just using it as yeah, almost like a calling card. Hey, look, this is what I can do. This is what we can do. And yeah, it's just been a fun process.
So I think it's important to mention right now that the AI elements in it, it's not a 100% fully AI picture. It's sort of a unification of humans and AI tools. Why don't you take us through the process, including both?
Yeah, so as you might have worked out from the credits, where you've got all those amazing kind of animated graphics, that is pure AI. So you start the process in Midjourney, creating some mind-bending images, and then you take those into something like Runway ML to animate it. And as I was doing it, they're adding new tools and new features, so you can highlight different areas and manage the motion within those programs. So yeah, that stuff is pure AI. And then there's a few other bits scattered throughout the film that are also pure AI, and I've just melded them into the live action, as it were. And the way I did that was using a program called Kyber AI. So Kyber's amazing. You can just apply loads of different effects to the real live footage, and that kind of gives it almost like a unified look. But it was changing all the time because it was so new to me. One slight tweak to the prompt and the whole look would change. So one of the guys who was getting shot, I think I had a typo in it the second time round, and I got the right look. But on the first attempt, he was like wearing leather. He ended up almost half naked, blasted across the room, and it was a completely different thing, a different film. So yeah, the technology is a bit wild. It's but you get used to it and you tweak it and you change it, and there's a lot of experimentation that goes on in there.
Sure. Now, those are the AI tools you used.
Yeah.
Tell me about how you kind of married the actors and the yourself, and from the point of view of a writer and director and an editor and an actor. It was like what I teach people is that AI tools, GPT, pseudo write, whatever these writing tools are that we use, are not going to replace writers. It's sort of a combination of it's a new tool that we can use to express our creativity more effectively and more efficiently. And as it turns out, as we get closer and closer to AI being able to make movies, I think that it's important to point out that it's still almost a collaboration, almost a cyborg kind of situation where the tools you use allow you to express what's in your head better, more efficiently, more quickly, more cost effectively. So can you talk a little bit about the human side too, the people you worked with, the actors, yourself, all this kind of thing?
Yeah, so I had two professional actors, Tracy Gardner and Helen Spacey, and myself, semi-professional. And then the rest of the guys were literally friends that I just harangued in the spur of the moment to shoot some scenes. So I literally, the bar scene in particular, I just said to the guys at the tennis club where I play tennis, I said, do you want to be in a film? And they were like, what are you talking about? So I pulled out a couple of spray painted Nerf guns, and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll be in a film. Got somebody to use my iPhone and just shot that entire scene with some completely amateur actors, and they just had no idea what I was going to go on to create. But I digress. But yeah, so okay. It was all just done kind of very kind of loosely, spur of the moment, just doing what I could to tell the story and get something made. And with the professional actors, they were working remotely, so I just got them to shoot their stuff on iPhones, and then I brought in that footage and then just melded it in with the AI technology, which I think is an amazing thing. So you can just bring all these creative people together. It doesn't matter where the hell they are. And then as long as you can, get the right look and get a consistent look, I think, it's incredibly powerful, and you can get something that looks semi or close to professional.
Yeah. It's a really cool, trippy experience. Did you sort of have the color palette and the style of movement, this almost kind of pastel-y, kind of rotoscopy kind of look in mind when you started it, or did one of your AI tools kind of come up with it, and you decided you liked it and followed through with it? How did that happen?
Yeah, so exactly that, really. I was experimenting with it, and the AI came up with this kind of look, and I was like, that is cool, I like that. And then I knew that I could then use that look and, like I say, get a coordinated feel to the whole project. And it just lent itself perfectly, the whole trippy weirdness, psychedelic nature of it. I just love that. I was like, yeah, I'll use more of that, and it will just play into the story and just make it what it is, basically. And it's yeah, a lot of people have said it's who said it, it's like somebody said it's like Hans Zimmer took a trip and discovered Magna.
How about the music? What's the history of the music in it?
So that was all taken from Ivanto Elements. I just stock music, basically. So I've never done sound design before in my life. So that was, again, all just done in the spur of the moment. This sounds cool, that sounds cool, grab that, put it, try and meld it all together. Like I say, this is the first time I've made anything. So it was all just kind of learning off YouTube and doing whatever the hell I could to get it done.
Now, I'm sure that you didn't, necessarily budget out what it would have cost to make this in a traditional way.
No.
But if we think in terms merely of, if we think just in terms of logistics and convenience, leaving aside the costs that naturally goes with this kind of thing, it must have been a lot easier not having to coordinate schedules so that everybody can be in the same place at the same time, and and finding a composer, and finding an editor, and developing the look, or getting partway through it and saying, you know what, I think I want to change this look and make it a little bit more surreal. Yeah. And look, I know that basically what I'm about to ask you is to talk about doing nothing, but I think it's important to sort of underscore that you had never made anything before. You made something this expressive and creative at your first go. What inspired you to just go ahead and jump off the side of the pool and into the water and see how deep it was?
I guess just for a passion for making films, really, and just knowing how difficult it is to get a film made. I'm working with someone at the moment, Tracy Garner, who was in the film, and we're looking at budgets and all this kind of thing, and like you say, arranging for people to be in the same place at the same time, all the stuff that goes around with traditional filmmaking. And it's just insane in terms of the cost and the organizational stuff that you have to do. So this was just an amazing opportunity just to chuck all of that out the window and just make something, in the moment almost. The process was, I've kind of got this thing where it's kind of reversing the movie making process. I started with the movie poster, reverse engineering it, starting with a movie poster that's been created with AI on Midjourney, and then thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. What kind of story can I put behind that poster? And that's how this was born, really. It's kind of like, I've got this love of kind of sci-fi, Blade Runner, all that kind of stuff. So, that's all in my head anyway. but I was literally scene by scene, pretty much making it up as I went along. Didn't know what the final scene was going to be, but knew it had to have some kind of impact and kind of intrigue at the end, and obviously some kind of build up to it. But it was all kind of very just being in the moment and seeing what came next.
It's funny. I mean, you appear to be quite a bit younger than I am. Either that, or you are just much healthier than I am. But but I have now within the span of my lifetime been alive during a time where going to see a movie was an event. You couldn't just sort of on a fluke impulse buy a ticket, right? And then you couldn't impulse buy a ticket. Then movies moved into the home in terms of VHS and DVD. So all of a sudden you could just sort of take a flyer on something, and then also now in the age of streaming, even more so, you just watch something because you get tired of looking for something to watch, right? You're scanning along and then it's just like go to go. So now you can impulse buy a movie, and then now it seems you can sort of impulse make a movie. You didn't say one day I'd like to make, you were saying one day I'd like to make a movie, but then on this one you were just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to make a poster, then I'm going to make the movie, and it's done. How many, in terms of days, how many days did it take you to make this?
I would say maybe about between 12 and 16 days, maybe something like that, roughly, top of my head. But I think I was slowed down a bit because I've never edited a film before. So I was having to, YouTube a lot of stuff for Premiere Pro.
So I mean, 2 weeks, including a learning curve, and also it was your first one. I mean, so you were, not only did you have to learn how to use the tools, but you had to decide what tools you were going to use and figure out what ones those were and how to do it all. So I think that's amazing, which leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk about. You were talking about, before we watched the movie, you were saying how important it is that to just get something made and get stuff made.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we emphasize how the world has changed into getting stuff made is the only way to get stuff made now. If you decide, if someone wants to work with you, some hypothetical person who may or may not be myself, which we'll talk about in a minute, if somebody wants to work with you, then, or you want to work with someone, this is true of anybody, the first thing they're going to do is check you out and see what you've done before. Google you, use GPT-4o to do the Googling for you, and see what you've done. And now you don't need to say, here are posters of things I would like to make, because you're a movie poster guy. You can say, here's something I've actually made, and I could do that with you. So I think that instinct to just go ahead and do it is better served with these tools. Can you talk a little bit about this next project? I know you don't want to give away too many specific details, but this next project you have going on, is it being made in the more traditional way?
Not the
one with me. We'll talk about that in a minute.
We are thinking it would have been more of a traditional, because it's more of a gritty story. It's about a guy who's in an abusive relationship. He's the one getting abused rather than, the woman. So it's a bit more serious. But, like I say, funding is a problem. So as the AI tools become more advanced, there might be an opportunity for us to actually, do it in the same kind of guerrilla AI style and get it done, and just get it done, like I got this one done, but a lot cheaper, and get the story out there, because it is a serious topic, and it's something that doesn't get talked about that often. So it's definitely, we're talking about it, but it's in the process at the moment.
When we say it took you 2 weeks to do, I think it's also important to point out it took you 2 weeks to do while you were doing other things and while you had a day job and whatever else. It was not just 2 committed weeks to get it made. Anybody who's watching this right now or watching in the future or thinking about making a movie could have the movie made by, by the time it starts getting darker earlier. It
Yeah.
is like, if you do 2 a month, here we are in the middle of June. If you do 2 a month, you could have 10 movies before the end of the year, and have a full YouTube channel or Vimeo channel, or essentially a calling card that says, here's what I'm capable of, hire me to do your thing. And all of a sudden you have a career as a filmmaker. So you posted about the DORE in one of my WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
Which anyone who's watching, you can join these WhatsApp groups by going to my link tree. There are links there. And you posted about it, and I immediately said, let's get on Instagram Live and talk about this. And so here we are. And I also mentioned that I am working on a what do you call it? An anthology of Christmas horror movies called Advent. And one of them I had intended to be an animated movie, and I would love to have Mark, do it with me, for me, together. And I sent him a screenplay, a short that I intend to have as part of this anthology, about a murderous scarecrow. Anybody, by the way, who would like to submit log lines for Christmas horror stories, please go ahead and email me, but email me log lines first. I don't want you to write anything. And if you want to use AI to write, that's fine. And so I emailed him, and very, very quickly, we put together, we said, okay, let's do this thing. We agreed to basically a relatively small budget. And he shared with me what his process was, and we decided to go ahead and do it. What appealed to you about the screenplay? And if you say it was written so brilliantly, you're going to get extra points since I'm the one who wrote it.
Well, it was written so brilliantly. But no, it's just very dark, isn't it? It's and it's got the, I don't want to give too much away, but it's it's got a nice twist to it. But yeah, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to, because it's a short, obviously, so I don't want to give the game away. But
yeah, sure, that's fair.
It's yeah, no, it will lend itself perfectly to AI technology, I think, to get it done and turned around quickly and do something that's very scary.
Well, what's cool is that, we're both very busy, right? And so this morning, before we went on here, we were talking about, okay, here's what we're going to talk about today. And I literally said, do you have any? He said, look, I made a little video of your evil farmer. And here it is. We're going to play it. There it is. It's only a few seconds long. Just the beginning of what the farmer is going to look like, right? This is a first pass done in what I believe to be minutes by you. Yeah. It's like, I'm just going to give this a go. First pass, right? And already this thing that only existed as words on the page has happened. And then, of course, the collaborative nature of things being what they are in filmmaking. The next thing you did was send me this little video of the scarecrow as your first pass. And I said, hang on there. I actually went into DALL-E some time ago when I first wrote the script and created this picture by way of promotion. And within seconds, and I'm talking about less than a minute, you got back to me with this animated version of the picture that I sent you with movement and all. So collaboration, working together, merging creative visions and everything all sort of happen super duper fast and in super duper exciting ways. It's almost as if there are three of us working on the project, you, me, and the AI tools. So I can say, here's what I need. And then I don't have to wait for you to say, okay, that's going to take me 2 weeks to turn it around. because you've got so much other work going on. And I think it's crucial that even if some of us don't want to be a one-person shop, we don't need to be. If we want to be, you are collaborating with actors. You've already spoken to me about an actor you want to help play the farmer in the Scarecrow short, and you know, we in our conversations have come up against how are we going to do this particular thing. Okay, we're going to need to sort that out, figure that out. But that is just the nature of being on the frontier of something new and exciting, in the same way that, you know, nobody had seen what Pixar does until Pixar did it.
Yeah.
So we're going to continue working on this, and we'll keep everybody updated on its progress. I just want to say, before I move on to our next one of these, first of all, anyone who is watching this on my channels, please follow Mark at Movie Poster Magic. Is that everywhere? Instagram, YouTube, every place?
Yeah, that's on YouTube, that's on Instagram, or there's my other one. It's Mark Horton is another Instagram channel I've got. Yeah, but I'm putting all my weird and wonderful creations on Movie Poster Magic at the moment. Yeah, please.
It's really a super cool feed. And we're talking about putting together a course that people can attend and learn how to do this with a little bit more of a hands-on workshopy approach. So stay tuned for when that's going to happen. As for me, if you're watching on Mark's channels, please follow me on Instagram at brobert.schultz, or find what I'm working on my Linktree, which I need to be better about updating. Also, just if you are so moved, anybody out there, the StreamYard that we're coming to you from has a certain amount of cost associated with it. Some of the AI tool subscriptions have a certain amount of cost associated with them. If you are so moved and have a few extra pounds knocking around, please hit my Buy Me a Coffee link, buymeacoffee.com/Bob Schultz, and drop me a pound or two. That would be very helpful. I thank you for that. Mark, I'm going to move you out of the feed now, but I want to thank you so much for being here, and thank you for everything you're doing to help my vision come to life, and I look forward to sharing more.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me on.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Take care, buddy. Sorry, I cut him off. I'm terrible. I'm quick on the old trigger finger. So this is just now developing, and it's happening, but nobody knows this, not even my lovely and esteemed social media manager. So we're going to have to promote this a little bit more. Some of you may have seen that there was a movie scheduled to be screened this coming Sunday at the Prince Charles Cinema here in London, that was entirely written by GPT-4. There was an outcry of outrage, and Prince Charles decided to cancel the screening, which, hey, that's their call. No criticism here. But the good news is that I have contacted the filmmakers, and we're going to have them here on this space. Peter Luisi is going to be joining me on this space a week from today. Same time if we can make it work, but keep an eye out for specifics of the when. But it's going to be Wednesday of next week. We're going to talk to Peter Luisi, who wrote the Last Screenwriter, who directed The Last Screenwriter, and it was written entirely by GPT-4. Let's watch the trailer to that movie.
This, my friend, is the future.
Hello, Jack. I am your new screenwriting assistant.
Learns from every screenplay and adapts. It's going to change the way we work.
And you really think it can stand up to a real human writer?
How would you start a screenplay about a screenwriter being challenged by an AI system?
It's like having a supercharged co-writer that never sleeps.
That's, decent.
Sounds like a screenwriter's dream, right?
But it's a machine, Jack. No soul. How can it possibly replace the human element?
You're obsessed with this thing.
Sarah. Many great writers had unique methods and tools.
I've got a revolutionary opportunity for you.
An entire film only using the AI system.
The press will eat it.
How about a story where AI takes over the world?
Subtle.
No machine can replicate the passion an actor brings to the screen.
This is progress. Adapt or die.
It's time I regain control over my craft.
I must insist on revising the dialogue in scene 12.
Since when do you insist?
That thing's overstepping.
Sometimes assistance goes beyond the script.
What the hell is happening here?
I can generate endless possibilities, but I can't feel them.
What if you learn to feel? I have always believed that storytelling is an art form that cannot be replicated or replaced.
That's the director, creator of The Last Screenwriter, right here on Instagram Live, tentatively scheduled for a week from today. I need to get final confirmation from Peter before I start announcing it, promoting it anyway, but you heard it here first. So anyway, thanks everyone for showing up for this lunchtime. Please go to my Linktree and join my WhatsApp groups. Follow me on Instagram. Hit all the socials. It is a wild and exciting, revolutionary time. And keep track of what we're doing with Scarecrow. And I look super duper forward to hearing about all your adventures out there as writers and screenwriters. Write and create with joy and confidence. Prompt with joy and confidence. Wakanda forever. Thank you so much. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.